Hello everyone, my name is Sarcoth, and I am a part of the guild Sacred Haven, and I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough. This is mostly for my guild mates, but in case anybody else wants to get, I'm going to have it out there on YouTube so anybody can watch it. But I'm just going to show some hints about Cyrodiil, and what we're going to do is I'm going to cover things like the soul gems, getting quests, some of the siege equipment that you can get, getting around Cyrodiil, and then how to leave, which is probably the most important question a lot of people have. But alright, so first thing over here is Mangeth. Just so you know, we're in the town over in the bottom left right now, right here, and we just zoom in and this is where we're at right now. So this is the guy that you go ahead and buy the siege equipment from, but he also has something that we all want to have when we're traveling around here. If you want to basically be able to revive yourself, is you're going to need the soul gems, and you're going to need the grand soul gems. They're the only ones that will work with you in Cyrodiil, because when you come to Cyrodiil, everybody is level 50. Alright, so I already have some of these. I have some empty and some that are already filled. You want to buy the empty ones because they're cheaper and it's not very difficult to fill them up at all. Over here is the quest board, which is right near where you buy the siege equipment. There's a couple of them. The main one is the second one here, which is the bounty mission board. I believe that in a couple patches ago they made it so you can only get this quest once per day, so it's a daily. And this one says any domain soldier slaying 20 of our enemies and it is entitled bonus. So this one is pretty easy if you're in a big group, because when you're a big group, whoever gets a kill in that group, you automatically get credit for it. So you definitely want to get this one at least once per day and complete it. Very easy to complete. The other ones are okay, but I'm not going to bother going into them right now. Instead of taking that portal out, I'm going to quick show you what the siege equipment looks like. I don't have any on me right now, so I'm going to run over here real quick. Bear with me while I move over here. This is also the place that you would go if you were to go through the training for Cyrodiil. And if you come here for your first time, I recommend everybody go through the training, because you'll get a good gold reward for doing it, and you'll also, I believe, get a one of the tents that you get to put down where people get to travel to you. So it's a very good quest, and it pretty much starts back in the town we were just in. But just to give you a quick idea of what everything, here's a catapult. The old catapult. I personally don't care about those catapults. I guess, you know, whichever one you like the best. The oil one's okay if you're going to, I guess if someone could start a fire afterwards, that'd be great. So if you follow it up with somebody maybe shooting this right in that spot. I don't know if they work like that, but I think they do. Here's the Dominion Firebolt one. If you're going to get the Ballista, I recommend the Firebolt ones. The regular one just does that regular damage, but this one also has fire to it, which will stay on the enemy, and it can help to kill them a little bit easier. And here we got the Trebuchets, Ice Ball, Fire Pots. So I recommend this one as well for that. Now I think there might be certain ones that are better for knocking down walls, like maybe the stone one's better for walls. So if you want to get that, the Dominion Ballista is probably better for walls too. So you're gonna need to make sure you have them all covered. I haven't tried the lightning one yet. So Scattershot, and you can also buy. This is the battering ram. If you're planning on doing a siege and you want to get through the doors a lot quicker, at least the inner doors of a castle, you're going to definitely need a battering ram. So everyone should at least carry one of each of these. I don't know, I won't say you need to carry one of each type, you know, like lightning, you know, the different types of ballistas or whatnot, lightning, firebolts, and the regular ones. Just one, and then like, you know, one catapult, and just this way you're prepared for when you actually go to them. See if these guys are actually selling anything here.
You can buy them from siege merchants at our gates and castles.
Alright, so he's just talking about how to do the repairs. One of the people over here, you should also buy, like, if you don't want to lose your particular siege equipment that you purchase, you're going to want to buy the repair stuff for them, but it's not a big deal. There's also other stuff like the things you're going to need for defending a castle. You're going to want to buy repair kits for the walls, repair kits for the doors, you know, whatever they're going to be heading on. And the tents are great for getting out into a certain area a lot quicker. Alright, now that I'm back here, I'm just going in real quick. So now we covered the soul gems, the quests, the siege equipment. We're going to now do some traveling around. So if you were just to press your map button, you're going to see like a very big map of the whole area. You can see right now I'm on a particular map where the Aldemiri Dominion is controlling almost everything here. Oh, looks like... Oh, I guess we still control that one. It's just a weird color. I don't know why on that. Anyway, so what you can do, from the map you can't travel, but if you go to the Way Shrine here in the middle of town, this one will now allow you to travel to any one of the places that are controlled, but that also have a link from one to another. So for example, these are considered in enemy territory, so even though we control the links to them, we can't get to them. Like, we can't get these either because they're considered enemy territory. But say we had this castle, but we didn't have these two forts or keeps here, you know, then we wouldn't have an easy link to those. So you can only get to the ones where you have a straight link to them. Alright, so I'm going to go up here just to show you. And when you die, you can go, even if you don't have a link to it, you can still, like if you're nearby a certain one, you can actually respawn at the ones you don't have links to. I don't think that's been changed. So if you die, don't automatically think that you have to go back to one of the ones with a link to it. You can usually go to one that's close by, even if there isn't, as long as it's under your alliance's control. So, you know, that's something to keep in mind. And also another thing to keep in mind, even if you have links to certain forts or keeps, you cannot get to them if that keep or castle is under attack. So if a large force is attacking it, it's going to be difficult to get there. You're going to have to go spawn somewhere at another fort that's as close as possibly you can get to, and then run there. Another option is having your allies drop a tent so that you can quickly jump to that tent. Now, just so you know, those tents go away pretty quickly if a lot of people are going to it. I think it has a number limit of how many people can go to them. And another option is when you die, if your friends are nearby, don't respawn. Wait. You have like about 10 minutes before you have to respawn, so hopefully one of them can res you before that time runs out, you know. So don't always jump to it. Make sure that your friends that you're traveling with are not going to be able to res you. And sometimes strangers like to res you too, so, you know, don't be surprised. And this is still loading. Let's see if I can think of anything else to tell you while we're waiting here. Where the guy at the main town there, where Melgath or whatever his name was, who I could purchase all the siege equipment and the soul gems from, there's also a quartermaster in each one of the keeps that are under your control that you can go to, and I believe you can buy all those same items from them as well. So you don't have to, if you miss it from the starting town, you can get it from them. Now the quest, though, you can only get from the town there in the bottom right. The big fort, which can never be taken over by the enemy, so it's completely a safe spot to go. And when you first come into Cyrodiil, you're going to be in the bottom left side, but after that, every time you come into Cyrodiil, you'll be coming in on the bottom right. I think they mainly start you off in the bottom left. They want to give you a quick learning curve on how to do the traveling, because the only way to start off when you first come there is you have to do the travel over to the bottom right town, because that's part of the initial quest when you come to Cyrodiil. And then once you're in the bottom right, you're able to get the next part of the quest. The first person you go to when you in the bottom right, she's going to ask you, do you know your way around Cyrodiil yet or not? And if you say yes accidentally, which a lot of people do, including myself, I did it during as soon as the servers came up and I got to level 10, I accidentally clicked yes, I clicked too quick. She basically said, okay, so then she skipped my whole tutorial, so I lost out on some stuff. I still got a decent reward for clicking yes anyway, but I did not get the starting tent, and I don't know if I got as much as I would have gotten for going through the quest. So I really recommend going through quests, especially if you haven't been here before. It's a good way to get an idea. Plus, one of the parts of that quest sends you up to one of the scroll map things on the map. It's taking too long, so while I talk to you, I'm going to close this out and relaunch it. But one of the scroll places, there's actually a sky shard right there when you're heading back to this town. So you'll go there from one way, and on your way back, you'll see a sky shard. It's very difficult to miss, so it's a good quest to do just because it looks like they send you right off into a sky shard. I like doing quests for that main reason, because almost every sky shard is there, and you get to it from one way or another, and usually it's from a quest. A quest will end up sending you over into that area, so just something to keep in mind. Alright, hopefully I won't have to load too long here. This is one of the issues I feel about Cyrodiil, is it's still not perfect on traveling yet. Usually I get lucky. Since the betas have been over, I've been pretty lucky on getting around places, but alright. And of course I get a couple UI errors, so I'm just going to ignore them. Maybe that was my problem. Some of the UIs are not working in Cyrodiil. Maybe they fixed them, I didn't look at it yet. But as you can see, now I am up in the fort that I wanted to go to here, so that was just a little bit of a travel. I'm going to, since I need to travel back, I'm going to go ahead and disable this, or I'll give you a little bit of tour of the castle first. Let me disable my add-on. Alright, that should make things a little bit easier. Alright, so I'm going to give you a tour of the castle. Here's the bottom floor. This is the main door that they're going to try to do a battering ram on when they try to come in. There's two side doors, both sides. So if you're inside and you're trapped in and you want a quick way out, you can go out there, but that can sometimes be a little bit tricky if they're waiting for you, so you want to make sure that there's no one on that side yet. So as you can see, the keep is really big. I like to make sure there's nothing going on down here. And one of the siege equipment that you can buy is boiling pot of oil, and this is a great spot to use that from. Now you don't want to be on this side usually. This is like a last resort side, because if there's archers out there and there's not a lot of fighting going on, they can get you from here. And even from in here, if people position siege equipment correctly out here, they will be able to kill you in here as well. The safest spot is right here in the middle. Sometimes you can get away with being right here as well if you can get the pot placed just right, but it's not always that easy. Alright, so that's a tour of the inner keep. I'm not really going to go do the outer keep, because I wanted to make this video short, not too long. If you can always come to one of the keeps that are under your control in any of the campaigns to check it out. And now I'm going back to the eastern Ellesweir Gate. This is the one you come in at when you come in after the first time, and it's also where you leave. Now, if you remember from earlier, this is where I tried to travel. This is where I did travel from. This is the one that lets us get around Cyrodiil. But if you want to leave Cyrodiil, I would think that those doors would be my way out, but they're not. Instead, here's all the quests boards. Instead, come over to here, and here is another way shrine. And now this one is the one that leads you back out of Cyrodiil. And what you do is when you first come here, you'll see a map of Cyrodiil, but you really can't use this. Instead, you need to use your locations here on your right, or you can do a right click and use the map to get around. I like using this, so I'm going to go back to Grotwood since that's where I was at. And I will click and confirm. And that's it. I am now exiting Cyrodiil, and that ends my video. I hope this was educational for everybody, and I hope my guild members all watch it so that they have an idea of how to get around, do the things that they need to do, and get out. We will be doing PvP raids weekly, and I'll see you there, guys. Take care.